The noisy market lived its restless life. Shouts of traders, the smell of roasted meat and fresh flatbread, the clink of coins. Narrow streets of a settlement that would have long vanished from the maps if not for one thing. From here began the routes through the savannas and the desert. Nearby lay fertile valleys, and farther on, beyond a rocky gorge, stood Maris, a coastal city that stubbornly refused to die. It was held together by the river. It fed, connected, and made Maris a point of attraction where roads, ships, and destinies converged. At the market, everything went on as usual. Livestock near the square, bundles loaded onto carts, crates stacked on old trucks. Horses, rusted vehicles, creaking wagons, a constant hum like the breathing of a huge, living creature. And then, from far away, came a low, drawn-out horn. The elders froze, staring toward the horizon. The younger ones exchanged glances. The sound was unfamiliar to them. On the line of old rails, overgrown with grass, a dark mass appeared. An old diesel locomotive, creaking with metal and throwing out black smoke, was slowly approaching. The wheels struck heavily against the rusted sleepers, and the sound echoed in everyone's chest. The train was short, only 5 wagons, but the market fell silent. The locomotive stopped at the dead end, leaving a pale cloud of steam hanging above the tracks. People stepped out from the cab and the first wagon. Around 10 figures. 3 remained near the rails, alert, hands close to their weapons. The others moved toward the market, calm, confident. The crowd parted. At the center walked a tall, dark-haired man in his early 30s. A calm stride, the look of someone used to deciding. He introduced himself simply, Kurt. He had come from Maris. He wanted to trade. The market elder, the gray-haired Cesar, stepped forward. His rule was known to everyone: no weapons. For a moment, the air grew thick, like before a fight. One wrong move, and the settlement would drown in blood. But Kurt chose differently. Slowly, openly, in full view of everyone, he removed his weapon and handed it to his people. He had come to negotiate. He named the goods: salt, clothing, medicine, fuel, and alcohol. That was enough for the market to breathe again. Distrust remained, but need proved stronger. For 2 days, the trade never stopped. Salt went fast. Medicine went first to children and the elderly. Fuel was strictly limited. Even the desert wolves approached the canopies, talking about hides and meat, asking for gasoline and oil. Kurt understood. The first barrier was passed. This market had learned his name. They made a deal. Once every 2 weeks, a percentage for the road, the sleepers, and the bridge in the gorge. When the train headed back toward the river, Kurt listened to the rhythm of the wheels and knew. This was not just a route. This was his road upward. But in Maris, reality was waiting for him. The city was divided, and 15 kilometers of river leading to the sea were controlled by the Grabbers, a family with boats, weapons, and connections too high to challenge. That evening, in a cramped room above the old depot, Kurt sat by the window. Illusions were dying, giving way to anger and a plan. Then came the news. People from the trade guild had visited the Grabbers, and among them, a woman they treated with respect. That same night, she came to Kurt herself, Lisael, calm, confident. She did not ask, she offered. She knew his route and his risks. Inside the suitcase were factory-made goods from the Union: weapons, medicine, technology. This was merchandise for a higher game. She said the main thing: the grabbers were already watching him, and she did not like losing partners. When the door closed, Kurt remained standing, motionless. The question was no longer whether he could trade. The question was whether he could survive.